Hi, my name is Zen Kalryzian, and I am the creator and the host of the Zen Parenting Pod in the Flow Research Collective. And I'm going to share my tip with the community. I've talked to at least half of the members in their one-on-one, dozens of parents that are into flow, that have done 0 to dangerous or just starting, or some that have been there even longer, even some of the coaches from the Flow Collective. And I've absorbed so much knowledge and so many tips and insights, and it's been great. But I want to share my insight, my one thing that I get all the time. Most of the parents in there are like, how do you get into flow when your kids are around? What's the secret? How do I do flow as a parent? That's a really big thing, because it's not super obvious when you do 0 to dangerous. It's not built for parents. That's a whole different course. So what I think that I've come to the conclusion, and what it is to get into flow when your kids are around is you don't. You don't do it. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for so many reasons. So how do you do it is you do it when they're not around. You have to organize your life, and you have to organize your time and your space so that it is not a distraction. And I thought about this. I thought about an extreme example about what that looks like. So if you take a race car driver, let's say Formula One race car driver, and when they're in that car and they're racing, it's focus. They're in the flow state. They're moving. Every split second matters. What they do, the braking, the steering, all of it, it's so focused. Well, if you get one of their kids and you strap them into the car in the back seat and you put them in their 5-point harness in the back of that race car, I mean, I know they don't have back seats, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to change the dynamic so much. The environment is different. The environment to get into focus has changed. And that's what you really want to address, is what is the environment to get into focus. So I remember when I first started working again, and I thought my kids were home, and it was COVID times, and they weren't going to school, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get some work done here. I'm gonna get my laptop, and I'm gonna put it in the kitchen, and the kids can play while I write this email. And I had one email to write. I remember this so clearly. I had one email to write, and I had a couple of things to put in there, and it hurt so bad. I just had to do a little bit of research. It was going to take me 15 minutes to write this email, and it not hard, nothing, but the kids needed a snack, and then this, and then one was crying and was fighting, and this was going on, and I was just distracted the whole time. That email took me 3 hours to write. 3 hours. So I was like, this doesn't work. This isn't going to happen. This isn't going to work. And I started to adjust all the things around getting my work done. So the question is, how do I get into flow, into a work state of flow, to really focus when my kids are around or in their house? And you don't. You have to manipulate the situation so that you can get into a flow state without the distractions. And that is key. And I just happen to be able to pull it off on Mondays. Monday is my big flow day. And I took the 1 day work month, and I put it into my Mondays, and I try to do it every Monday. So I get a month's worth of work done in 1 day. So my kids go to their moms. I'm a single dad. My kids go to their mother's house Sundays and Monday nights. So Sundays, I get myself ready. I get everything prepared. I get figured out what I want to do on Monday, and then I have a flow block first thing in the morning. Boom, there's 3 hours. I mean, it's Monday right now. I'm in my afternoon flow block. It's 2:30, and I'm like, boom, I've already hit it. This is my 3rd time hitting it today. So I set it up so I get all this stuff done. Hopefully I get 3 blocks, maybe even 4 blocks done in 1 day. And that's 9 to 12 hours on Monday that I just crush it because my kids aren't here. And I've taken that opportunity to make it really, really beneficial and optimal so that I can do that. I turn off all my notifications. I don't check anything. I'm not distracted at all. The house is all mine. It's perfect. And maybe I'm a different case than you, I probably am, but it's setting up those scenarios so that you can get your stuff done. On the flip side of this, I think it is very important to teach your kids how to get into flow states. I like to do it with cooking. I like to cook with my kids and we just focus on cooking, and maybe it's pancakes or maybe it's whatever it is, I don't know, but cutting vegetables and focus on using a knife. My oldest is 7 now, and he can chop up the vegetables and he'll use a knife and a cutting board, and we figure it all out, and so that he's proper, and we set the focus up that way. But teaching your kids how to not be distracted and to focus on one task, I think, is super beneficial. It's teaching flow states to kids is, I mean, those are the kids that are going to make some huge changes in the world. They're going to really, really thrive if they can see you doing it and model your behaviors in flow. So I guess how it all comes together is you don't get into flow state for working when your kids are around. You get into flow states with them, play and food and whatever it is. Music, maybe you're teaching them music, maybe, but you want to create those times to connect with your kids and build flow state. But if you want to get into flow for your own work, that's a totally separate thing when kids aren't involved. And you've got to divide them. And that's what I've learned from talking to so many parents in the Flow Collective and outside of the Flow Collective, and just my own personal experience with it. Now, because I have set myself up in this particular way, I have gotten so much better at creating flow in my life, and I think that it really makes a big difference with connecting with my kids that way. Because when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not going to think about the things. I know that I've got the best work out of me that day in a flow state, and now that I'm out of it, I can be out of it. And it lowers that cognitive load for me also. So really creating that environment where you can get into flow is super beneficial. So I hope my tip helps, and I hope it resonates with you, and I would love to hear your comments, and I would love to hear some stories from you, some tips, some strategies on how you get into flow as a parent, and what are some of the strategies that you use. So please connect with me, and we'll record something, and I'll make a short video for the rest of the parents out there. So thank you, and we'll connect sometime soon, I hope. So thanks, everybody.